Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com, and this is Disconnect to Connect Conversations. Now, this is a part of the show that I introduce our sponsor, which our sponsors, our current sponsor is IamWilliamBrown.com, a place where you can find items and have conversations with me about being yourself and living your life. One way that I spotlight the items is by using our U cards. That can also be a part of a U game, and it is fun and it's very enlightening. But using the U cards to set your intentions for your day and for a moment, an episode, or something like that is great. So for this episode, the U cards that I picked is I am full of joy. I always like that because there's laughter involved, or at least smiles, or something. So I am full of joy. You are curious, and that's a good. That's one of my core values. And the quote card is "It's you I like," and "It's you I like" is the song from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It's a fun song. You can go on YouTube and listen to it. And sometimes it's really for me, one, I have that understanding of it's you that I like, then everything is possible from there. So, with that in mind, I am going to introduce our word of today, which is wellness. Um, as you can tell, this is the conversation that we're having all this week. And so I find it fascinating that how this word is coming up and how this word will come up differently for a lot of other people. So, as I do, I invite a guest, my friend, up, and we'll have a conversation. Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the moment that we ask my guests to introduce themselves however it feels comfortable to them.
Okay, my name is Ashley Van Brabant. I'm a belief specialist and I am a good friend and somebody who is really interested in making the world a better place.
Absolutely. And you're also a returning guest. I love when people want to come and have a conversation with me again. And so I totally, there's a level of appreciation of it that, I say and it sounds trite, but I don't have language for the level of appreciation that just connecting with you, and having conversations like this. So with that, all of that, I guess fanboying that I have because I'm definitely on Team Ashley, right? Um,
Thank you.
how does the word wellness show up for you?
Hmm. Okay, so when I first heard this word that we are going to speaking of today, I think the first thing that popped into my mind was the opposite of it, the how much
Hmm.
we are not well.
Right, right.
Um, and and for me it's something I'm still really exploring because the more I focus on, my healing, the more I have a new appreciation for how unwell I truly was.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. I think for me, it's it's kind of a baseline. It is like not knowing. There were moments in my life where I was so not well that I accepted that as well, right? It was like it was like because that was just so I was such in that state of not being well that I was like, okay, this is what it is. It's I just had this image. I don't know if rechargeable battery, and I don't know if this is the truth or not. How it's like the rechargeable batteries are designed to, to use all the way to the end so you can recharge it from the bottom, and so it goes back up and it remembers where the top is. So I'm now at the bottom, now I'm charged, I need to go all the way to the top. So what happens too often, and the reason why people make a lot of money off of or people spend a lot of money on rechargeable batteries, is because they don't wait until it's all the way down and they kind of charge it back in when we're at 50%. And so what happens over time is that 50 becomes the new 100. And so then, the more it decreases and decreases, and there is at some point where your 10% is showing up as full, but it's really at 10%. And so I said all of that illustration to let you know how I was living, that I was living at this like 10% life, thinking that that was, well, that was my 100%. But I was getting tired quicker. I was getting, fatigued, and all of these things that were happening. And it was just like, what the hell is happening? But because I had no connection to my wellness, I kind of created this reset. And it was just really difficult to come to a place where, how can I fully get well?
Yeah. Yeah. What I really connect to is thinking of wellness as a circle,
Hmm.
really holistically. And if we're living life in straight lines with all these straight line processes and we
Right.
never connect them together into a
Right.
whole, we we're not living wellness.
Hmm. Well, explain that a little more. I'm trying to, because I'm like the straight line guy, right? So it's like I'm trying to, I understand that there's other parts, and so I'm thinking that, there's this stage moving forward. I need to go there, but try to help me embrace the circle of wellness.
Okay, I really think of it like in to bring in like some nature, some seasons,
Okay.
some of that aspect into it. How like one season, say like summer, or like when you're really productive,
Right.
like during the day, is awesome. You just do all the things,
Right.
and then like the fall is like evening, say, where
Right.
you like
Got it.
wind down, do everything. Winter's rest. Spring is like your morning routine.
Right. Got it.
But if
Okay.
if you don't have all of those pieces and the rest included, and the spring planning and planting, and the
Right.
fall, harvesting and wrapping everything up in your
Right.
day, you you're you cannot be well.
Right.
At least
Got it.
how I see it.
Right. No, I get it. No, you've really helped me, because I can see, even though that I have a meditation practice, so it's consistent enough because I have a commitment, not a goal. There's a commitment to spending at least 15 minutes a day with myself. And so, with the way you were saying and the way you're framing it, there is that rest time. There is that, and it's not just sleep, right? There is this intentional rest period that leads into this planting or planning and the springtime, and too, and then this work, this that leads into your work, and then wind down. I can recognize, and just by, like I said, just by you bringing that to the case, I can see some of my most rewarding or productive days that have those three areas that I can say, huh, okay, yeah, this is what's going on. I didn't have language for that, but it's, these are the activities that happen in that time. And too often I'm not well when it's just, I wake up, do my meditation, and then try to just like go to work, right? And it's like, oh, this is what came up in meditation, and I'm just gonna just like kind of go at it. and then I like run myself silly, and then it's just like, I drop, and then like kind of do it again. It's like, yeah, that was like, what the hell happened there, right? But and that's really not sustainable. So I totally get trying to incorporate those into your life, into your day.
Yeah. And I mean, when I think about wellness, I really think about nature.
Hmm. Right.
Um, which makes me also think about like, when I go back to what I said before about how we're not well,
Right.
like collectively, is I'm not sure if this is how it is for everybody, but I know for me, I feel like I need scaffolding to hold up the walls of my life
Right.
in
Got it.
order to be well. It feels so like anti cultural.
Hmm. Right.
Like I need practices. I need scaffolding is
Right.
my practices that I have,
Great.
um, just so that I can feel like me
Right.
and feel
I,
well.
I got it. I got it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't say it's, I don't know if it's like a framework, or or something. It's, or boundaries or something, that there is for me, there is, I use, like, sometimes when the wellness conversation comes up, I look at, my attempts to fitness, right? At the gym. So I'm that guy that does nothing with his body, no movement, and says, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. And it's like, I'm like working my heart out, for that one day, and like can cause like pain to myself, and just kind of like, okay, I don't see any different, or type of thing. And there's just like no boundaries. There's no commitment to routine. It's like, it's there's no scaffolding in that, it is just like, now I'm going to do it. And there's just there I know on some level that it's not helpful, but it's like I feel like I'm doing something and I'm really not. Maybe causing harm to myself more than anything else.
Right. Yeah. Wellness isn't like you can't do wellness. Wellness
Right.
is like a consequence of the
Right.
things you do.
Wow. Okay. Got it. Wow. You can't do wellness. Wow.
You can't.
Wow.
You can just do things to have
Right.
wellness be the result.
Right. Now, is the results within this, because I'm a big part of my coaching, and I think in my life and my journey, um, is it just a wellness, an awareness of your wellness? So um, you are well, because and I go back to the, we're whole and complete, right? We're well and we're not well, right? So there is an awareness of my wellness, and there is an unawareness of my wellness that causes me to show up as not well. I don't know where I went with that, but is that, you know, can you follow that train of thinking?
I think a little bit, and
Right,
I think what's coming up for me is both are true
right, okay,
because wellness has so many categories.
right,
Like, I mean, there's your mental wellness, your emotional wellness, your physical wellness,
right,
your spiritual wellness, your community wellness,
right,
um, collective wellness.
right,
And so that's why in the beginning I was like, we don't really know what wellness truly means
right,
because when all of those are kind of like crossed off and we have a general wellness ability in all of those categories, that's when we start to be like, oh, this is what it means.
right.
It's kind of like next level.
Hmm. Yeah, I think putting there's a part of me that was like, I totally can put like wellness in front of all of my activities, so I can kind of help me out, wellness in my relationships, right? Wellness in, sometimes, like before this conversation, for me, wellness was really a personal thing. It was just mainly, am I well? Or am I showing up as well? Do I have an awareness of well? it's not looking at my relationships, looking at my business, looking at my community, all those other kind of things. It's really wow. I totally get it, and I think that's in some cases why I if I'm in a community or something, or I'm with a group of people, and there's just like drama or something. It's like, yeah, I'm done with this, right? It's no kind of, hey, we can fix this. It's just we kind of just for me, speak for myself. I was like, I'm done with it. But if I would put on, hey, I desire to be in a a community that is well, and what that means, right? And basically help supporting that. And then when there is drama or discomfort or craziness, you know, there is actions or there are doings and there are things to have wellness be a consequence, right? Or the result of those actions. Wow, it's really opened up some things, for me, because sometimes I don't want to say I like kind of avoid things, because there's a part of me that I don't want to say I'm an instigator, or I'm a kind of like rustle feathers or try to kind of shake things up, um, but there is a part of me that it's like, all right, that's too hard, or I don't want to deal with this, and just kind of, I'm out, type of thing. And then I miss the possibility of wellness in those areas.
Can I say something about that?
Yes.
Okay. Because I think there that is true and also can be untrue.
Okay.
Um, because this kind of goes back to our first conversation about transition and like about being ready to
Right.
transition.
Gotcha.
Like if you just like leave something, it could be the best thing you do because you might go back and get different tools. By the time
Right.
you like come back to this thing, you might be
Right.
more prepared.
Got it.
So, yeah, I mean, from my own experience, there's like lots of things that I just like I leave because it is that too hard. It is too hard,
Right.
and you can like you know push it. You can you know feel the burn and go through it, and that's fine.
Right.
But like I said, if you keep on doing that, if you keep on being in summer all the time,
Right.
it's a linear process. That
Right.
pushing against something is a linear process. So
No,
you can do it sometimes, just not all the time.
right, and I get, and I think and I totally agree with that, and I think what um, going after my word of curiosity is doing that inquiry. Is this a time to leave, instead of just leaving? Can I make this well? Can I find wellness here, or or not? And I think in the past, there wasn't a curiosity. Something that just comes up and just like, I'm out. I'm just done. And I think if there's an inquiry, or if there's curiosity connected to it, then we can make the decisions. Then we can see. And I think for me, there's a part of me that um, that I say that I'm a reconciler, or I bridge, I build bridges, and stuff like that. So I'm always looking to um, maintain connections, right? That we are connected. So having disconnections, it just doesn't work for me. I I know that there are some people that I am connected to that I have no desire to talk to them right now, and that's okay. They're still a part that they're in my headspace, but they're and how they show up in my head is, I still have well thoughts of them, or they, or I would not, or they I would have no remembrance to them. And so for me, that my awareness of our connection can kind of come up, and then it may include a conversation, it may include more activities, it may include something else. But for me, like I said, I feel there's a large part of me that I don't know if I choose not to disconnect, or I think that even if people come into your life and have a connection, when a connection is made, a connection is made, and until there is something or they do something that will, there's almost this like mutual disconnection. There is this like severing of, the ties. And like I said, I don't know where that is going, but like I said, I totally get that there are moments where you have to walk away, and that brings you power, and that creates access to, possibility. I mean, there are thoughts in my head that that theoretically I have to walk away from so I can be well, right? Right, you know, if because if there's like too much of an entertaining of those thoughts, I can be all over the place, and it's not good for me or nobody else, right? So yeah, so I appreciate that clarification, and how, when living in a place of Anne, right? you know, um, sometimes it feels like there is this, um, I forget the word. The word is not coming to me. There is this. I don't. The word will come to me. It doesn't make sense. There is this. It really doesn't make sense to kind of keep that together. I don't know why I can't think of the word, because I've used it many times. It is yeah, maybe you need to say something so I can stop thinking out loud, right?
Maybe. Can you tell me more about like the place of and? I'm not sure if I know what you mean by that.
Oh, oh, okay. So there's a lot of things in my life that was either or. So I can either be this or that. And the more that I accept the ands of my life, that, I can be well and not well. I can have a relationship with you and not have a relationship. It's both are true. There is that, and the more that I embrace that, I can embrace there's a season of the not. So I am my labels and I'm not my labels. It is that the more that I embrace that, then there's a possibility of a lot of other things show up. When I'm totally one thing, or I feel that, oh, I'm this, and or I'm not, or I'm this, it keeps me from being anything else. So that's how I'm using it. Hopefully that made sense.
That does make sense. And it makes me again think about nature.
Right.
Um, and that like a healthy ecosystem is incredibly diverse. A
Hmm.
diverse ecosystem is one that is resilient.
Hmm. Right.
And one of the biggest a big concern right now is like monocrops,
Hmm.
just one,
Right.
and that's why people are building seed banks and things like that
Right.
to protect that diversity.
Great. Because we just, too often, I don't know if it's a societal thing. Um, and I there's a lot of sayings and think, um, that they're just horrible. I just want to think of other examples, but it's like, it's like you're milking the cash cow. You're like milking the cow until there's like nothing left, right? That's a mentality that we have. We're going to, it's like, hey, I am getting something from this resource, so I am just going to like overdo it, right? And we miss the diversity, of it. We miss all the other things that, hey, the more that we diversify our thinking, our eating, our ideas, or anything like that, the more there's a sustainability to life and to things. But we kind of like overdo things to create this, yeah, don't want to say superfood or something, it's this something, it's like we're
The
looking for
one
this,
miracle
the,
cure.
right. And then we lose it because we over, did it, and we miss the connection with a lot of other things. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean,
Hmm.
competition is a thing, but
Right.
so is cooperation.
Right.
It's and.
Right. Right. Wow. And it's like, and I can see for me, I don't know about you, but I can connect it to wellness, right? Where the sustainability is wellness, right? 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 It's like the more that we have a conversation about um, wellness, the more that we can sustain things in our life.
Yeah, the
You
more
know,
resilient we become because we
right?
just
Wow.
we have those, like our tanks are full, right?
Right.
Because
Wow.
we filled up. We went and filled up all of the tanks, and so they made a circle, and it makes
Right.
life go round.
Right. Wow. Wow. I said, I don't, I what I've noticed from these conversations that the more that I'm into it, in the conversation, the more that things, come up, and I think, you know, I am curious, and just recognizing the curiosity and just kind of looking at that is that look again, is that consider this, consider that, or why is this, or why is that, and I think that's what wellness is all about, in order for us to really stay in it and stay in our curiosity and stay in our life, the flow of life. There is, wellness has to be a part of that. And we find ourselves not well because we're overdoing it in an area. We're
Yeah,
extending a season, right?
yeah.
We're doing all those things.
I think curiosity is like one of the first steps, because once you start to get curious about the results that you're seeing in your life,
Right.
then you can be like, you maybe you want something different. Or once you start to get curious about the conversations you're having with other people,
Right.
then like it's like the first like learning building block
Right. Wow.
to something new and different.
Right. Wow. Yeah, I think we can talk about this for hours, right? Because I'm, and it's like, and there's been a couple conversations where in the back of my mind, it's like, you need to start like growing stuff, right? You need to just kind of understand the cycle of growing. I really, I say that I don't have a green thumb, and a reason why I just haven't done anything. I am more concerned about killing plants than nurturing, than like being a part of the process. If I would embrace the, hey, let's just get a part of that and seeing the process of growing and nurturing and all that other kind of stuff and what it takes, instead of being so concerned that, oh my god, I'm going to kill a plant, or I'm going to have like mutant vegetables or something like that. I mean, it's just like all the things that go through my mind to keep me from doing with nature or planting and all that other kind of stuff. But I've seen so many times within these conversations how there are so many clues for us, there are so many lessons, the more that we understand and appreciate nature, that is telling us.
Well, because we are a product of nature. So
Right.
if we really want to understand ourselves, you look to the source, which
Right.
for me is one of the sources is nature.
Right. Wow. I mean, that was a good final thought. Is there anything else that's coming up for
Mm,
you within this
yeah, I want
conversation?
to preface all of the things that I said and still say, I'm a human being.
Right.
I'm not completely well all of the time.
Right.
I don't
Right.
want to like take that back. Like those are great ideals and those are things that I strive for in wellness in my life and I'm moving towards them.
Right.
But the idea of that is perfect just because it came out of my mouth and it's perfect in my life is
Right.
not
Right.
it's not true.
No, and No, I totally get it. And that is, there's a part of me that I said before. It's like, okay, I have this information. Now I'm going to like overwork this. I'm like, I need to go get a plant right now. Right? It's like, relax, right? you know, type of thing. And be kind to yourself and just kind of work through that. And just, there is there's this balance, there's a lot of words that are coming up for me right now. But no, I really appreciate this conversation. This is great. So thank you very much. I have a feeling that you'll probably appear on this show again, because, like you said, you are a friend, and not just a friend of the show, but a friend to me, and I so much enjoy our conversations. So typically say goodbye within the green room if you're able to stay, and then I will close the show, and talk to you soon.
Cool. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
Okay. Wonderful. Wow. Well, another take on wellness. Um, it's like, I'm well and I'm not well, and just embrace that. We're human beings, and we have a lot of skills and informations about our wellness and everything. And we can look to nature to find ourselves. Hmm. That's what I got. I hope this conversation brought value to you, and I invite you to reach out to me at iamwilliambrown.com and sign up for a complimentary conversation. Maybe we can talk about wellness, or any other way that is showing up for you, or not showing up, that keeps you from being yourself and living your life. Because the world wants you, the world needs you, and the world is waiting for you. So go be you. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you tomorrow.